Hello, my amazing artists. Welcome back to Art with Mrs. Knowles. We are going to be making a food collage today. You're going to try and think of some of your favorite foods to include in your collage. And collage means that we cut and glue things together, right? So we're going to be using just paper or whatever you have around the house to create your food collage. Are you ready? All right. Okay, so here is my plate of food that I decided to do. I love pizza. I don't know about you guys, but so I decided to do pizza, and then to add a little bit of healthy, I added some broccoli as well. So you need to decide before you start what foods you are going to do. All right, your first step is you need a plate. So I cut an oval out of a piece of white paper, but you don't have to use white. You could use any color. That's up to you. I am going to do it kind of like my plates, which have this blue edge, and then they have little lines. I'm just using a blue marker right now, but you can use any art supply that you have. Maybe your plate doesn't have decorations on it at all. You just want to leave it plain. That is just fine. Okay, so I've got my plate done. If you didn't want to do an oval plate, you could do a round plate. You could even trace your plate. Okay, so what I did for my pizza was I thought about the layers of my pizza, right? I gotta start with the crust. So I found a color that was kind of similar to a crust, and I just used a pencil, and I made kind of a rounded triangle shape, and then I cut that out. You notice that when I'm cutting, I'm holding my scissors straight and I'm turning my paper. Makes it a lot easier to cut. Okay, got the base of my pizza, that's my crust. And then I'm gonna add, let's see, how did I do this? This is for the sauce. So what I did was I traced it on the red paper. And then I cut it out so it's a little bit smaller with a wavy top. All right, let's see if it worked. Hey, that worked pretty well. Okay, I'm gonna glue that together. I am using just regular Elmer's glue, but any kind of glue will work. There is my sauce. I need some cheese. So I did the same thing with the cheese. I just traced and then cut. Kind of a wavy top again. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect, right? Just do your best. Okay. That's pretty good. And then I gotta think about toppings, right? Okay, I'm gonna come up with some toppings, and then I'm gonna start the video back up so you can see my toppings. All right, so I've got my toppings glued on there. I decided to do pepperoni and green peppers. Although I have to say that mushrooms are actually my favorite with pepperoni, but I didn't have any gray paper, so I just went with what I had. All right, so I'm gonna glue my piece of pizza onto my plates. And then look at all this room I have left. I have room to do a lot of other things, right? So I did broccoli on my example. And what I did for that is I cut off a strip of green, and then I kind of cut it into squares, because it kind of helps me to know how big to make the broccoli. And then I just did some curvy, almost like a cloud line, the little stem, like a tree. Broccolis do look like little trees, don't they? So I did a bunch of those. And then I glued them on once I was done. Now, one last thing you can do once you get all of your foods glued down is you can use colored pencils or crayons to add some details. So, like on my pizza, I added some little dots on the pepperoni. I added a little bit of brown to the cheese to make it look like it was baked. I added some details onto my broccoli so it looks more realistic. So that's a really easy way to kind of jazz up your picture, make it pop. All right, remember that I want you to come up with your own foods, right? You're not copying my foods, you're doing what your favorite foods are that you might have for dinner or for lunch. All right, I can't wait to see what you guys make. See you later.